Get ready for an intense ride as we dive into the gripping tale of the Quebec Biker War. This nearly decade-long battle was fought between two rival outlaw motorcycle gangs in Quebec, the notorious Hells Angels and their fierce enemy, the Rock Machine. To understand this conflict that took 160 lives, including innocent civilians, we must uncover the high stakes that drove these gangs to such ruthless violence. Who was involved? Even though the war took place from 1994 to 2002, its origins can be traced back to the mid-1970s, when the Hells Angels, an outlaw motorcycle gang from the United States, came to Quebec by joining forces with the Popeyes biker gang. They quickly gained control over the drug trade in the region. The Biker War, also called the Second Quebec Biker War, began when the Hells Angels tried to push the Rock Machine, a rival biker gang in Quebec, out of the profitable drug business. The Quebec Biker War involved two rival gangs, the Hells Angels, who were supported by Vito Rizzuto of the Montreal Mafia, and the Rock Machine, who were part of a criminal coalition called the Alliance Against the Angels, also known as the Dark Circle. The conflict revolved around the leaders of these gangs: Maurice "Mom" Boucher, the head of the Hells Angels in Quebec, and Salvatore Cazzetta, the leader of the Rock Machine. Interestingly, Boucher and Cazzetta were once friends. In the early 1980s, they led a white supremacist motorcycle club called the SS, which had control over organized crime in a Montreal borough. However, their friendship ended when Boucher joined the Hells Angels, who were involved in the Lennoxville massacre on March 24, 1985. During this event, the Angels resolved a dispute between their Quebec chapters by killing 5 of their own members at their clubhouse in Sherbrooke. As a response to the Lennoxville massacre, Salvatore Cazzetta, along with his brother Giovanni, established their own outlaw motorcycle club called the Rock Machine and rose to prominence in Montreal's organized crime landscape. The stakes. The stakes were incredibly high. Montreal had been a major hub for the illegal drug trade since the 1950s, involving substances like heroin and cocaine with a combined street value amounting to billions of dollars. The cocaine trade, in particular, experienced a significant surge starting in the 1970s, facilitated by a powerful alliance consisting of outlaw motorcycle clubs, La Cosa Nostra Mafia, and Colombian cartels. They had corrupt dock supervisors and workers on their payroll. Among these players, the Rizzuto crime family held sway over the drug trade in Montreal. Prior to the 1990s, there was a relative peace in the drug trade, as each group accepted their specialized roles within the network and respected boundaries. Independent operators operated freely within the market. However, by the 1990s, the Rizzutos had extended their control too far, leading to tensions and the gradual breakdown of the peace. How the Bike War started. The Hells Angels had given a strict ultimatum, demanding that all drug dealers purchase exclusively from them or face severe consequences. In response to the Hells Angels' attempt to monopolize the drug trade, opposing motorcycle clubs formed a collective known as the Alliance. This alliance was established to challenge and resist the Hells Angels' control over the drug market. It all started on July 13, 1994, with a targeted attack. 3 masked individuals shot and killed Pierre Daoust, a member of the Death Riders, a club affiliated with the Hells Angels, at a custom motorcycle shop. They also attempted to assassinate a Hells Angel member the next day. On the same day, the provincial police force of Quebec, the SQ, apprehended several Rock Machine members for their involvement in a plot to bomb a Hells Angels Puppet Club's clubhouse on the south shore of Montreal. In a matter of weeks, all Hells Angels chapters in Quebec made the decision to enter the conflict, rallying behind the leadership of Maurice Boucher. This marked Boucher's ascent towards becoming the leader of one of the most formidable outlaw biker club chapters worldwide. Innocent lives lost. This set in motion a period lasting approximately 10 years marked by a cycle of revenge killings as both factions targeted rival clubs and dealers who remained unaligned. Tragically, innocent bystanders, including children, were also victims of this violence. The senseless loss of innocent lives deeply shocked the public and fueled a widespread outcry against the indiscriminate brutality witnessed during this time. From the summer of 1994 to 1995, the ongoing conflict led to a series of shootings, bombings, and murders committed by both sides. However, a tragic incident occurred on August 9, 1995. 11-year-old Daniel Desrochers was playing near his home in Montreal's working-class Hochelaga Maisonneuve district when a car bomb exploded. The explosion resulted in the death of the car's driver, drug dealer Marc Dubé, and young Daniel Desrochers sustained a fatal head injury from metal shrapnel. Despite receiving medical treatment, Daniel succumbed to his injuries 5 days later. Regrettably, he became the first innocent victim of the Biker War. The tragic death of Daniel had a profound impact on public sentiment, especially towards the police, politicians, and the justice system. Many felt that these institutions were not adequately addressing the seriousness of the situation and were failing to take sufficient action. There were instances where the police openly acknowledged their inability to put an end to the carnage. In a particularly controversial statement, a senior Montreal police officer placed blame on the public for Desrochers' death, arguing that the public's demand for illegal drugs was a contributing factor to the ongoing biker war. In the following weeks, the intensity of the violence escalated to its peak. During a single week in September 1995, a series of important events unfolded. An assassination took place in a parking lot, bombings occurred at a strip club, a bar, and the residence of an organized crime figure. Arson attacks targeted a pawn shop, a tanning salon, and a used car lot. The tragic incident of friendly fire resulted in 3 members of the same biker club being accidentally killed. Among the most horrifying crimes committed during the Quebec Biker War were the murders of 2 prison guards, Diane Lavigne and Pierre Rondeau, in 1997, along with the attempted murder of Robert Corriveau. Diane Lavigne was shot by a motorcycle rider while walking home after her shift at Montreal's Bordeaux jail. Pierre Rondeau was killed during an ambush that targeted him and Robert Corriveau while they were driving a prison transport van. Subsequent investigations revealed that these murders were orchestrated by Hells Angels leader Maurice Boucher. The actual killings were carried out by a biker who sought to gain entry into the elite Nomads unit of the Quebec Hells Angels, which only accepted members who had committed acts of murder. There was also an attempted murder of Michel Auger, a veteran crime reporter, in September 2000. Auger was ambushed and shot 6 times in the back while in the parking lot of his workplace. Remarkably, despite his injuries, Auger managed to call 911 using his cell phone. After a successful recovery, he resumed work for the newspaper within 3 months. It was later discovered that the Hells Angel had placed a contract on Auger's life. End of the conflict. By 1999, the Alliance clubs found themselves outmatched and suffering significant losses. During that summer, the Rock Machine joined the Bandidos, another international outlaw motorcycle club, as probationary members. Concerned about the Bandidos' potential expansion into the neighboring province of Ontario, the Hells Angels proposed a truce to the Rock Machine. It's probable that the Rizzuto family exerted pressure on both sides to seek a truce, as the ongoing war had attracted unwanted media attention to the criminal underworld and disrupted the drug trade. Taking advantage of the temporary peace in the fall of 2000, the Hells Angels managed to convince several members of the probationary Bandidos to defect to their side. Despite this setback, the remaining Rock Machine members officially joined the Bandidos in January 2001. However, the Bandidos inherited a disorganized situation, as described by a former member. In March 2001, The Hells Angels suffered a significant blow with the implementation of Operation Springtime. This operation led to the arrest of over 40 members on charges of drug trafficking and conspiracy to commit murder. Consequently, a void was created in the drug trade in Montreal, which the bandidos swiftly took advantage of and assumed control of. The police had initiated an investigation into the Quebec bandidos in 2000, and in June 2002, they made a massive arrest of 62 individuals associated with the club. This effectively resulted in the imprisonment of nearly the entire membership, bringing an end to the Quebec Biker War. If you found this video informational and would like to see more, please subscribe to stay updated with our latest videos and be part of our community.